have a pretty significant family history of depression and anxiety, and my father actually committed suicide when I was quite young, which meant that my life has been very centered around understanding mental health, because when I came into my adolescence, I began to recognize a lot of those symptoms in myself. And having dealt with, mental health throughout my entire the last decade, it's really come to shape who I am as a person. It's made me a kinder and more empathetic person, because I've had to come to a sense of self-awareness and understanding that this is important, that it can really change your life and the life of those around you, and taking care of the people you love matters more than anything else at the end of the day.
Personally, I've made a movement within Victoria University to actually research about what international students are actually facing. Is it physical activity, the lack of physical activity, the lack of sleep, the lack of money, or could it be everything? I think researching and understanding that is very important. So within Student as Partners and International Student Association, in my role in those two organizations, I've spoke to our senior counselors within Victoria University to actually discuss and raise awareness about international students. How can we approach international students better? That is a very important discussion. Within my platform, I've collaborated with staff members to research, to create surveys for to understand international students better, and as well as my outside of university, my involvement outside of university, Vic-wise, I've also communicated about how can we actually improve international student awareness about mental health. I talk about the differences between domestic students and their capability to actually talk about mental health, and international students, where it's harder for them to actually discuss about mental health, not only because demographically it is a taboo, but also because all the facilities that surrounds them, they are alone and they feel alone as well.
My whole platform pretty much up until now has been around mental health awareness. The collections that I put out are very much based on where I'm at in that moment, which up until now has been very influenced by my mental health at the time. Something that I didn't particularly realize when I started Pieces of Marcel, though, is that the kind of foundation of mental health awareness really comes from societal structures. And in that way, the mental health experiences that we all experience actually have some commonalities. And talking about patriarchal issues, talking about women's issues that actually affect a lot of people, if not everyone, then means that we can kind of reach some sort of change that isn't necessarily just an individual issue. And something that I've really been talking about and really been advocating for is that, managing mental health, managing mental illness individually, super important. What's also equally important is talking about what got us here in the first place. What makes a queer person more susceptible to actually committing suicide? What are the societal issues there that actually create the mental illness, that create the stigmatization to begin with, and talking about that and really fostering a really wholesome community where we're all pretty understanding and we're all adept to change and education and being there for one another. And yeah, so that I love Pieces of Marcel. It's been really wonderful being able to do that through my art. I think my favorite collection is the Boy Bye collection. And again, not because of how they look necessarily, but because of what it really signified for me. I wanted to come up with specific pieces that helped me, that really, really helped me. And there were specific triggers that would send me into a spiral for days. And then using those triggers and turning it into earrings, turning it into something positive. And each piece in that collection, after I designed them, I felt an enormous relief, because I felt like these are triggers that have impacted me so much that I haven't been able to sort out in therapy. They're still there, and making these earrings was the thing that really helped me move on and feel like that those experiences actually didn't have power over me in the way that they did previously. The Boy Bye collection was really illustrative of that. And yeah, it was honestly life-changing, the Boy Bye collection. So that was probably my favorite.
The premise behind my podcast is all about encouraging people to explore the interests that they care about and helping them to understand that what they have to say matters and that it does connect to the broader picture. I think a lot of young people feel isolated or feel misunderstood or feel that they don't have any value in the way that they relate to, the world on a global scale. And so giving people a platform to speak from their heart about things that they truly care about is often a very liberating feeling, gives people a lot of confidence. And it's just really nice to more deeply connect with my peers and help them see the beauty in everything that they have to offer to the world.
Absolutely.
The episode that's probably most relevant to a lot of people would be the dopamine matrix, which was one of my first guest episodes. And it's all about how to manage your use of social media and, have an understanding of the way dopamine impacts our ability to engage with other activities and how to ground yourself in your own emotions and really just sit with your life on the day-to-day in a really positive way.
I've been involved over the past year and a bit with a campaign called Best of the West, where they're in association with Centre for Multicultural Youth.
Well, I have participated in mental health advocacy through obviously donating to Black Dog Institute, but I have made the attempt to relate to others on a more personal level through social media. So I have my Instagram page, and in my Instagram page, there's the IGTV video section where I have made videos about different mental health topics and issues. And I've given my spiel about them and on basically how to improve them, or just basically relating to others as a person, like, hey, because everyone uses social media, like, hey, I'm here, I've gone through this is my advice, take it or leave it. I put myself out there and I just hope it betters someone. I hope that it helps even just one person watching my videos on Instagram. Yeah.
We're basically creating awareness around mental health as well as identity and leadership as well. And we also produce this little segment called Self-Care Sundays, where we produce content on every Sunday, just showing some tips from our local community members on how to help yourself feel more full and happy with energy and just recharge. Self-care is super duper important. You don't have to be a social media influencer or TikTok famous to have a platform for mental health. You can even just call up a friend or do things indirectly, and you can always still do your bit in helping and supporting people and building awareness with mental health.